welcome to yet another beautiful edition on Spill It on PM Visions. If you've been a regular guest with us on this program, you will understand that what we do on this platform, on this program, is to come very objective, is to criticize, to evaluate, to take a holistic look at what is happening in our society, the economy, politically, our academic system, whatever it is that affects us as a people. That's what we get to discuss on Spill It. And trust me, every one guest that has been on this platform has been very instrumental to saying the truth as it is, without any form of slander or libel. And this episode wouldn't be different. I have a very young man who is swift with words, who is very intelligent. As a matter of fact, I've known him several years behind. He's been a radical voice those days of student leadership, and until he graduated, became a voice in the contemporary society. Don't go nowhere. When we come back from the short break, I'll let you meet my guest. Welcome back to the program. And before I get to allow you to meet my guest, let me talk about this very beautiful water, Gemstone Table Water. Yes, they are our partners for this episode that ensure that we are very well hydrated. And behind the scene, I was talking with my guest, and he actually also had to give them credit. There's Gemstone Water, a very beautiful water you need to actually get to identify with. Back to discussion. My guest for this episode is a renowned voice, like I like to call him. As a matter of fact, he is my senior in student leadership in school. I don't know about age, but he's a reliable force. He's a young man you can reckon on, right? Mr. Gozie Ofonze. He likes to be identified as Mr., but I know he's a comrade, a very strong comrade, a public affairs analyst. And today we'll be discussing the subject of political revolution, essential for a healthy economy and a livable society. That's the topic we'll be discussing today. Mr. Gozie, pleased to meet you. It took me a lot to get you on this platform.
Thank you.
As a matter of fact, you look beautiful as you've always looked.
Today we are here. Let us dive in.
He's ready to dissect, he's ready to divulge a lot. First off, let me ask you generally, what would be your take on politics in Nigeria, generally?
Okay, that would be very controversial. Personally, in my opinion, I think we as Nigerians are yet to really enjoy what politics should be, because
that means it's not what it should be here.
It is not entirely what it should be.
Okay.
Because in my opinion, and that is likely because the founding fathers, the people that laid the foundation for politics in Nigeria, did it from an angle that it has really affected or impeded development as it should be, as regards to comparing with other nations of the world. In Africa, yes, we could say, okay, there are a few things we are doing right, but when you compare us with other nations of the world who are also, democratic nations where they also have these political systems, you see that we are not where we should be. We are not on par, and that is because of a foundation.
But would you say we are making progress to hit the notes?
Yes, on daily, as days come by, people see reasons to make improvements. But as I said, we are very far off from where we should be.
Okay, let me ask you, comrade, permit me to call you as comrade, because I know you to be a very active one. What's the connectivity between politics, the economy, and the society? taking a look at the subject of our discussion?
Okay, there is a huge link between politics and everything that happens in the society, including society itself. This is because the society, the economy are all byproducts of political choices and decisions.
Exactly.
Most of the states we live in today is a product of political decisions, whether from the military or they're all political. So you cannot separate the society, the economy from politics, because what happens on the corridors of power dictates the tune or the direction of where the society goes or where the economy goes. Now, if you look at, for example, now in Nigeria, you see since 2023, the economy has been biting very hard on the people. And that was because of a single proclamation of the president, who is the political leader of the country.
Exactly.
That fuel subsidy is removed. And though that removal, of course, people can debate it to be good, bad, depending on their own stance. But I'm just giving you an example of how political decisions affect both the society, the economy. We've seen how that affected a lot of things. The floating of the naira, we've seen how it affected, the economy, of the country. We saw where the dollar went. We saw how it affected the prices of food and everything, which now affects the living of the average person on the street who doesn't even know what's going on in the office of the president. But because of that decision, they now have to buy a bag of pure water higher than they used to buy it. They have to buy a cup of garri higher than they used to buy it. They have to buy a cup of rice higher than they. So politics, the society, and they are very, interlocked. It is something that you cannot separate, and that is why I tell people, and I laugh when people say I am apolitical. I don't have interest in politics. Every single human being must have interest in politics, because politics affects you, whether you like it or not.
Your day-to-day living
affects your life, affects every single thing that happens to you. It affects your destiny. We see a lot of young people. In recent times, we've had this surge for what they describe as japa, which was a lot of young people running away to different countries of the world and all that. Why are you running? Why are they leaving? Why are they going to some of those countries? Because they believe that they have a stable economy, they have a better, system, and this system was made possible because there is a political structure.
I think, I would want to agree with you on better system, not even better economy, so to speak, because I know some person is there. I know somebody who sold off everything to travel out and then got deported. I know somebody who traveled out and they need to sustain him from here. So, there's a whole lot around that.
That is the system we're talking about. It's not like our country or most of the countries in Africa where anybody can just come in and do whatever. Everything is regulated.
Exactly.
They watch you. Everything is done with the permission of the government. Exactly. For you to work, you need to have a work permit. You need a permit.
There's high regulation.
There's high regulation. So I think generally the economy is good. Most of the Western countries, the economy is good, and then their system is very much well organized and advanced.
Sure.
So most of our people go there because it's because of the political arrangement of how they, put up their society and all of that. People go to Dubai today. We forget that 60 years ago, Dubai was a desert.
Nothing,
It took the political will of one man to turn Dubai into the tourist hub of the world today. So politics, the society, the economy are all together.
Okay, as we surge to the what I would call the center of this discourse, for that to be a revolution, it can be said that there is a distrust. So, should we establish that truly there is a distrust in governance and politics in our system as it were, for there to be a revolution? Actually, if you look around, a number of revolutions are happening now. You know, people activism here, political activism here and there, and many people crying out for a whole lot of things. There's one happening between Shure and the FCT minister, and a whole lot. So, should it be established that revolution is an act or a byproduct of distrust in a system?
Not really distrust. I would say dissatisfaction. When people are not happy with what is happening.
Okay.
You know, revolutions come as a result of unhappiness.
Okay.
Where, well, what is a revolution? It is an organized effort by people to change a government or a system that is responsible for the organization of day-to-day activities in that political space. So, for a revolution to happen, of course, there should be some level of dissatisfaction, widespread dissatisfaction. Everybody,
Widespread.
people have to, you know, say, oh, everybody everywhere has to be saying, no, this government is not, this thing they are doing, we are tired of it, you know, it can't continue. Everybody has to be dissatisfied. That is the foundation for revolution. We've seen a lot of revolutions across the world, you know. As it were in Nigeria, I don't think there's anything we could. I think the only thing that is closest to revolution was NSAS. But it was not successful because of other factors I'm going to mention as we progress. But to a large extent, it showed us what a revolution can look like. That is the closest. Most of the things that happen around are sponsored, you know, political activities for political gains. Revolutions are very much results of widespread dissatisfaction. Everybody in a situation where everybody becomes dissatisfied. We've seen what happened in Kenya with Ruto. That is a sample of what it should look like. But then if you want to look at revolution of as it should be, you look at what happened in Cuba with Fidel Castro. You look at Russia under Vladimir Lenin, right? You look at the North Africa, what happened in the North Africa, starting with Morocco, Egypt, Gaddafi, Libya, and across the whole Arab North African countries. So that is pure revolution because they succeeded. Whether it brought the result, of course, as we progress, we'll talk about it. But dissatisfaction is one thing that can.
Okay, now, Comrade Gozie, having these notes, let me narrow down to Anambra State because I know that you are one strong voice for Anambra State, and I would also say for the present Anambra State government and maybe the APGA as a political party. Do you think that Anambrarians, or like it said here, in the Anambra, is happy with the state government? Is there any form of dissatisfaction with heightened dissatisfaction, I actually mean, with the state government?
Okay, when you look at what is happening in the state, in Anambra, you know, the question you should be asking is, are people really dissatisfied? Of course, in every political setting, there would always be pockets of individuals who are not happy with what is happening.
Whether good or bad.
Whether good or bad, for whatever reason, either for personal interest or whatever, or because it has not reached them, you know.
As expected.
As they expected, you know. But then, what you should be looking at is on the larger scale, looking at the state from the larger perspective. Are the Anambra really dissatisfied? Are they?
I should be asking you.
Okay, if you ask me, I think I would answer you. I don't think so. Of course, I recognize that there are people who are not happy.
Pockets of individuals, like you called it.
Pockets of individuals who are not happy with the APGA government. Some of them because of they've been part of government all their life, they've been benefiting from government all their life. In fact, their sort of livelihood is based on government. And then the present government came in and then cut down on cost of governance, reduced number of SSs. So many of them were no longer, they didn't get. So so many of them turned into a critics, you know, because that can be categorized under personal interest. There are people who are hoping that they must have gotten a contract from the government and all of that, and they did not get. They begin to sponsor some individuals to react on their behalf. This can also be categorized under personal interest.
Exactly.
Now, there are some persons who have their own agitation is legitimate because some of the things that happen in society affected them negatively. Unfortunate situations.
Theirs are legitimate.
You get their own is legitimate. By
way of experience.
By way of, for example, we know that the government has been fighting tooth and nail against insecurity, against kidnapping and all of that. Somebody whose brother has been kidnapped before has every right to be dissatisfied. Are you getting me?
Sure.
But when you look at it, security situations, you also see that a lot of progress is being made. Do you get? As of this morning, I saw reports about the Isheke community returning back to their yes in their community. These are people who have been sacked for 5 years, coming back to their. That is something that demands commendation, right? And this government has just been in office barely some months after 3 years, so they've made a lot. They've done some things in security situation, but there are some persons who these things affected negatively. You can't dismiss them and say, oh, you have no right to complain here. No, they have every right to be dissatisfied.
Cry out.
Yes. Then there are some persons who also, because the development of the government has not reached them. There are some communities that has not reached. It has reached a lot of communities, but some communities feel that, oh, it has not gotten to us. And they have every right to do this because they're also part of the state. Right? So when you look at these things holistically, you see that, okay, there are individuals who are not happy for whatever reason, either personal interest or legitimate reason. However, you cannot take away the fact that larger percentage of the society are happy. Why? Because, of course, for the first time, we have a government that has made education free, completely free, from nursery to SS3. In this thing, this is the first time.
Absolutely free.
Absolutely free. Yes.
Verifiable.
Public schools.
Okay.
Public schools. Free. From nursery to SS3. Free. We have a government who has also made it possible for pregnant women to go for antenatal free of charge.
Government hospitals.
Government hospitals, of course. Now we also have a
government. Can you verify that those hospitals actually attend to these?
I know of one. If there's anyone, I haven't seen anyone who came to say, okay, I went to the hospital and they collected money from me.
Or I was not attended to.
I was not attended to because I did not pay. So we believe that this is the situation. Though I know of one which I can say, all right, if you go to Amako, for instance, if you're a pregnant woman, you can have your antenatal and all of that.
I'm sure of that.
We have a government which makes delivery free.
Wow.
We've had some state governments do that, for example, Delta State in the past. But if you look at the Delta State free delivery policy, it did not include operations, cesarean operation.
Yes.
So, but in Anambra, the governor said, whether you give birth through operation or whatever, is free. Because he looked at it and saw that due to the fact that, of course, we have a society which we know that a lot of people are quite corrupt. Somebody called Nigeria fantastically corrupt. So, some of these policies, when you make them and you don't follow them through, it becomes a problem. For example, it's possible that somebody can be pregnant and then it has no reason to go into operation, but because delivery is free and operation is not free, you see some of the doctors who are animals in human form say, "Go, this is operation situation," because they want to collect money.
Exactly.
You understand? So the governor looked at it and said, no, for that not to happen,
both
operation, everything, the government pays for it. Right? That means if you now as a young man decide to get married, and then you decide that, okay, you just got married and you don't have so much money to go for private, you want to go for... No. If the standard of situation, if we get to where we are going, if we get to where we are going, we should come to a place in the society where people prefer public facilities over the private ones.
I agree with you on that.
So in Anambra now today, if you marry as a young man, you are sure that when your wife is pregnant, it's free antenatal. When she gives birth, it's free delivery. When the child starts school, it's free all through, right? To SS3. Now, let's even say that you do not want to pursue higher education for your children, right? And then they have what they call 1 youth 2 skills.
I know you are going to mention that.
By the governor. Now, this 1 youth 2 skills is a scheme that the governor has brought in and said, okay, we must make sure that every youth has something to do, legitimate. Because there is a pandemic that has affected us as a people, where people do no longer value legitimate, means of livelihood. People just want to make money. They don't care how you make it.
Exactly.
Nobody celebrates hard work anymore. They don't want you to go through the right means. So the governor said, choose a skill of your choice. The government will pay. You go learn it for a period of 1 year. Then when you come back, at least 2 skills. Then when you come back, they give you money to start up.
But there's a report I used to know about. But fact is, there is a lot you've mentioned anyways.
No. Now you see, about 5,000, over 5,000 has benefited in some weeks. Some about 8,000 extra will benefit. These are people's family members. The governor came into office and then he decided to employ teachers. Most of the government we see in Africa and Nigeria is here. What they do is when they finish, they don't like taking the burden of taking employment because they don't want to pay. So they wait. When they're about to leave, they will employ. But this man came in and then he employed first to shoulder the responsibility. I said, no, look at our public schools. We want quality teachers there. And he employed about over 8,000 teachers. Right? These are people's family members. Right? Now they are fixing roads. Of course, this issue of roads, people can say, oh, yeah, we're talking about roads, but they are also important. It's important. It affects the economy because if the roads are good, you see, it improves a lot of things. For example, the road from Amansi down to Ebenebe, to Ubene, to Ubenu, to Obo family, has been a road that is subject to political promise over the years. The people of Obo family have really not experienced what it means to have motorable good roads. When this government came in, the stretch of that road, the money it costs to do that road, if he had put it in an urban area like Onitsha, it could have done up to 30 roads.
But can I ask something?
30 short street roads, and people will be praising him. But he went there and said, okay, I need to fix this problem for these people. Even though someone can easily ask, a politician per se can ask, what is the political gain of fixing this? How many voters do you have here? Why not put that money in Onitsha where you have a lot of voters?
But I want to disagree. Right?
No, I'm trying to make you can't compare the voting power of people in that axis to people in Onitsha. You cannot. Onitsha is an urban area.
Comrade,
now he fixed that road. Because he fixed that road, you and I know today that the business of real estate has boomed across that sector. There are so many estates from Amansi to Ebenebe, so many estates down to even above family people are buying lands and they are selling for estates. The one from Amansi down to Ufuma, we've seen estates going on in that area, that axis too. He fixed the road. Now, the one from Amobia down to Oga, a major federal road, which has fixed to be double lane to make it easier for business across that length. Then we have from Agolonwago straight down to Neni, Nokwa, Nobi, Oroku, right? That area, double lane, straight to Newich, straight to Ozobolo. This is also a road that has made double lane that will affect the economy.
The local governments, the communities that seem to be left out. Why is that so? Because there is an alleged claim that the governor seemed not to be interested in areas where he didn't so much get votes during his first tenure.
That is as you called it, that is a claim, because I know that Nnewi did not vote for the governor. They voted for Ifeanyi Ubah in the last election.
Whenever imagine contest for governorship,
the one Soludo won.
Did he contest?
He contested.
He
won in Nnewi. Nnewi people did not vote for Soludo, right? Even the House of Assembly seat in Nnewi, they did not still vote for APGA. But Soludo is fixing. In fact, Soludo's government is the government that has remembered Nnewi the most.
What of Anyamelum? Because I know there's a feud about Anyamelum and there's an issue between the House member
Of course, I am alone. People has every right. As I said earlier, I'm not a person that will come and tell you, that this person that is agitating does not have the right to agitate this, that, because I'm somebody that is born out of political struggle. So I understand every agitation by, first of all, trying to listen to the person. What are you talking about? Now, I am alone. Of course, everybody knows. Not so much has been done for them, right? Some will query why, of course, the last administration did not, because we know there is a rotational system. And part of the reasons why this rotational system was even instituted in the first place was for development to go around, so that no area can be left behind. But let's not go into that, because of course every government has a responsibility to look after everybody, right?
Correct.
This is just 3 years of this government, and they are doing so much in other areas, right? If it has not gotten to Ndaya Melon, what Ndaya Melon needs to do is to continue to agitate. I believe the governor has ears, and he's going to hear them. So if they have a major project that they want him to look at, they should keep shouting and talking about it. By the time he comes to Ayamene to campaign, they tell him, Mr. Governor, this is what we want from you, do it for us. And then let's see if they re-elect him and he wins.
Okay, if they
but yes, of course, the people still have the mandate. You can't say, are you going to say that he's going to re-elect
I must
himself?
give it to you. I must commend you. You are a realist.
So if the people of Anambra say, to a large extent he has done so well and he deserves, let's give him an opportunity to complete the next 4 years, to complete his 8 years, then maybe Ndaya Melon might be part of the receiving end for the next 4 years. So this is, a lot of people are receiving now. You cannot deny that fact. A lot of people are benefiting right now, which I believe you are part of the people that benefited from this government, because the road that passed to your community has been fixed. But okay, would you have preferred that they didn't fix that road and use that money to go and fix somewhere else? But I think so. Comrade, if you notice,
because you pushed it to me now, do you think that the road that passed through my community, like you said, is as qualitative as some of the roads, if not all, that the government has done?
I'm asking you, the road in your community, we can go there now and inspect, because I passed through that road. We knew how the road was.
Okay.
We knew how it was. Is it the same? Be honest. Is it the same? Is there no improvement?
No, there is, but not as much as we expected.
What were you expecting? The road has been done. Are there potholes on the road now?
I never can tell.
You never can tell.
I've not been there in a while.
You better go. There is no single pothole from Amansi down to Obofemiri as we speak today. So that shows that something has been done about it. So I feel like for people like you could tell them, wait, it will get to you.
Okay, turn by turn.
You understand? Because as much as we say, the state doesn't also have all the resources to do everything at once.
Correct.
Our federal allocation, when compared to states like Delta, is like a giant and a dwarf. Yes.
But people say like it's
what we get. Go and check it. What we get and what Delta State gets, you can't compare. What we get and what Abia State gets, you cannot compare. So I feel like what we need to do is to, if there are areas you feel like, the governor should be looking at, the people should agitate. I am not against agitation. I always encourage people. If there are areas you feel like this,
agitate right.
Keep agitating, right? Draw his attention to this. Whenever he comes to your area, tell him, come and see this place, because that is what he was elected for, to fix your problems.
Okay. Let me ask you this as we go a little bit further. What are the risks and realities of revolution? That's one. And do you think Anambra State, as it is now, that we need a political revolution in Anambra State?
These are two very critical questions. Now, when you look at the realities of revolution, we can look at it from both sides, positive and negative.
Sure.
What inspires revolution? Dissatisfaction. People can be very dissatisfied about what is going on, right? And some persons who are opportunists, some politicians, because people, no matter how you want to see it, some persons engineer revolution.
Sure.
Somebody has to engineer it. Individuals, a group of individuals have to engineer it. build on the dissatisfaction of the people, push it up to the point that it leads to a widespread revolution, right? The one in North Africa, we saw the young man who came and set himself on fire. That was the springboard that led to the revolution that changed all the government across North Africa, across the tip of North Africa, right? Now, Russian Revolution, we saw Vladimir Lenin. We saw what he did. Before then, we had the feudal lords, they took lands. People didn't have access to lands. They were paying to get their own lands to farm. There was no bread. So when he came, he was telling them, I'll give back your land to you, we'll give you bread. And people saw it, in fact, we are tired of these feudal lords and all of that. And that led to the revolution in Russia. We also know about the one of Cuba and Fidel Castro and all of that. We know about the one that happened in South Africa, the apartheid, right? Where the blacks were marginalized. And they had to at the point, in our own country, you come in, you don't want us to come to some particular part of the city, this for the whites, you don't want us to use some buses, you don't want us to use certain government facilities like buses and all of that because you've secluded it especially for the whites and all of that. The whole world spoke against it, but some individuals did it. Right? So now, how good or how successful, or let's say how impactful a revolution can be, depending on the individuals that are leading it. So before you join a revolution, you have to critically evaluate the personalities that are behind it. For every person that understands politics, when you see a revolution, you step back and ask, who is behind this? Who are the people behind this? Who are they? Let's evaluate. Are they people, is this born out of genuine concern for change? Or there are some selfish politicians who are angry that they are not benefiting, they're not the ones in power who are benefiting, and they just want to get to power to benefit. Because we've also seen what happened in Gambia, where the president was ousted, and that led to the emergence of Barrow as a president. And there was widespread joy in Gambia. Today, are Gambians living, are they better off? Are they better off? So we've seen revolutions that led to government that are even worse than the previous government. We've seen it. So, first of all, there has to be dissatisfaction. Then secondly, the people that are behind the revolution must be people who have the interest of the people at heart. They must be people who want genuine change, who want to bring genuine change, not selfish politicians who are looking for opportunity to step into power
and do their bidding
and carry the much they can also carry for themselves. So is Nigeria ripe for revolution? I would say no.
Anambra State.
Anambra State is part of Nigeria.
Okay.
We'll get to Anambra. First of all, is Nigeria ripe for a revolution? I would say no. Are Nigerians dissatisfied with the government of the day? To a large extent, yes. But why then is Nigeria not ripe for a revolution? Because this goes back to what I said earlier about foundation. The foundation of Nigeria is wrong. The founding fathers that laid the foundation for Nigeria laid it starting from the whites, where they started regionalization. They had the western region, the eastern region, the northern region. Okay. That foundation is still affecting Nigeria up till today. You look at the things, you look at some of these things, you say, okay, the foundation was actually very wrong. It was built on ethnic line. Now, on regional lines, people were campaigning based on regional interest, right? So that created some level of bias that has affected us. That even though the first coup in Nigeria was born out of dissatisfaction, some group of young soldiers said, no, we need revolution. We don't like the way things were going. We want a change. We don't like the direction the country was going. And they decided that, okay, we want to have a coup, right? A military coup, and they went for that coup. The byproduct, the aftermath of that coup was that it was an Igbo coup.
Yeah.
Even though there were other people from other regions who were part of the coup. But because majority of the people that were there had Igbo names attached to them, they said it was an Igbo coup, right? And of course, what that led to. killing of and all of that. So you see, that has affected us a lot. The president can be in power, every other person is satisfied, everybody, including his kinsmen, know that he's not doing well. But because he is from, they don't want, because of that divide, that you are Yoruba, you are Hausa, you are Igbo, you are this, they begin to defend their own persons. Even when the person, and the politicians understand it. So they are beginning to amplify it. You know, for example, I talked earlier about the NSAS. NSAS was supposed to be a revolution that was supposed to change the face of Nigeria, right? By this generation of young people. But what happened? Why the NSAS was largely successful in the south, southwest and southeast, and south, it failed in the north because the northerners did not even come out.
Yeah. They even sabotaged those that tried coming out.
Exactly, because they felt, you people are doing it because our own brother is the president. So you see what has happened. I think the foundation, starting from the regionalization down to the politics of our forefathers, has done. So it made, and for revolutions to work, it has to be widespread. Remember, it has to be widespread.
Yeah.
Everybody has to say, we are tired. So, and because the northerners did not say we are tired, it looked as if it was a southern thing.
Yeah.
And it did not achieve the result it was meant to achieve. Exactly. Right? Now, today, if you say, you want to lead the revolution, I'm sure most of the people in the southwest will not. If you come out in southwest and say you want to do it, they will not listen to you. Yeah. Right? Because they feel like, you want to do it now because the Yoruba person is the president. Right? And then you see that it will also fail. So, though Nigerians are suffering, though the economic realities in the country is ripe for revolution, though everything that is happening shows that, there is need for a change, can it actually happen? No. Because Nigerians has not risen behind tribalism and regional divide, regional politics. And it is being propagated by politicians because they know that, it is benefiting them. So they are propagating it.
Okay. As we begin to wrap, let me ask you.
So down to Anambra for your question. I don't think Anambra needs a revolution. Why? Because I don't think there is widespread dissatisfaction. As I mentioned earlier, what is the population of Anambra? What is the percentage of people who has benefited from this government? Who are benefiting from this government? Right? Okay. The families that have given birth on free delivery, free antenatal, are they dissatisfied? The people that are using the roads, between Ebenebe down to Obofi,
why this?
Amansi down to Ufuma,
Comrade
Amobia down to Oga, Agolo down to Newi to this, are they dissatisfied? The roads that are the hospital, the first general hospital that was built in Onitsha South, right? Are those people dissatisfied? About 5 new general hospitals have been built
across the state.
Across Onitsha North alone. Across Anambra North alone. Right? Okpoko and all that. Now, Okpoko used to be the largest urban slum in West Africa. Highly abandoned, no good roads. Today, Okpoko roads are tarred. There is a general hospital in Okpoko. There are schools in Okpoko are being fixed. There are teachers there. People are going to school free of charge. Are they dissatisfied? So though we can agree that there are pockets of individuals who are not happy, either because of their personal selfish interest, they are not benefiting from the government of the day, or they feel like the government did not reward them enough for whatever they believe they should be rewarded for. And then there are people who are also legitimately dissatisfied. We must not shove them aside for the fact that the development has not reached them.
They've not experienced
yet
dividends of
in terms of road infrastructure and all of that. Because of course the one of healthcare is for everybody, the one of school is for everybody. I'm talking about road infrastructure now. There are some people who, like the people in Nayame, who feel that there are lots of their roads that needs to be fixed that has not been fixed, right? Which is a legitimate concern. However, you can't say Anambra is ripe for revolution because majority of Anambra people are happy with the government.
Okay, as we begin to wrap up, let me ask you what would be your take home for both the government and the people with respect to curbing indices of revolution, so to speak. Because fact is, no matter how much you want to paint, revolution is not so pleasant as you've constantly mentioned the NSAS. We know how it ended, and a whole lot of very displeasing records about that experience. What would be your take-home advice, anything both to the government and to the people, for us to have this healthy economy and livable society?
Okay, for me personally, the only advice I have for governments across the country, even in our state, is to put the people first. Don't come to government and then think about yourself. I actually have a personal problem with politicians whose families are living outside the country.
Good.
I have a problem with it. Some of our politicians are even citizens of other countries. Where is it? You know that when you finish, you are going away. So, of what importance is it to you to fix the area? If they are talking, it doesn't concern you, right? But that is my personal problem.
But it's
right?
It's a legitimate one.
However, I would tell them, please put the people first. Put the people first. If you have an opportunity to be in power, fix the situations that are not good before you came. People elected you for a reason. If they wanted you to fix their roads, they want to fix it. Drive development. Try to see how you can help people get jobs, create jobs, fight insecurity. Do the things you're supposed to do. It's not their job to come and be shutting down revolution. I don't believe in that. Your job is not to shut down people who are complaining. Your job is to, whatever they are complaining about, try to fix it.
Yeah.
That is your job. Fix it. When you fix it, you will have nothing to complain about.
Sure.
Nobody will be talking about revolution. How many people are talking about revolution in America? How many people are talking about revolution in China? Everybody is busy. In China, for example, they produce for almost the whole world. So people are busy. Almost the demands of the world, what the world consume today, is coming from China. So the government was able to arrange their government, and it has not always been like that. Chinese were the people running away, going to other countries, until Mao Zedong came to power in the 1980s, not long ago. And he said, no, we need to fix this. No. What do we do so that our people will stop going? Because Chinese they were almost like going to, even when they are not wanted, they are running away. Just like it's happening in Nigeria now. But the truth is that if the economy of Nigeria is functional and is doing very well, people will not be running away.
Exactly.
Right? So the government decided to invest and fix China. And today, China produces for almost, how many Chinese? If they are coming to your country to do business, right? China today is a global power. We've seen what they are doing. When Dubai came, they knew, they cannot compete with China in terms of, they decided to go into tourism. They started investing. Today, everybody goes to Dubai to flex, to have a good time, to relax. Even Americans, you know. So there's a way we'll fix our country. The world will be coming to our place.
It's true.
Do we have what will attract the world? Yes.
Sure.
But we need to make those critical investments. So our leaders should be looking at they should have the interest of the people. One of the major problems we have is that we've not had leaders that actually had the interest of the people at heart. We have barely had it, right? And the ones that even think about just half, we've seen the positive results it can bring. Imagine when we now have leaders who now say, all they are thinking about is how do they make this place livable for their children, their grandchildren. But sometimes it's not like that because they know that their children is not here, their grandchildren is not going to be here. So
they don't have anything to do with us here.
Where a man's wealth is,
exactly,
that is where his mind.
Exactly.
It's an Igbo adage.
Exactly.
You get. So our people, our leaders, I'm not going to advise them to shut down anything. Their job is not to shut down anything. The people, my advice to the people, if you're dissatisfied about something, protest. Talk about it. Don't keep quiet. Are you getting me? That is my advice to the people. My advice to the government is listen to the people, fix their problems, think of how to create jobs, Think of how to drive tourism down. Think of what to do. For example, look at what is happening with Solution. I never knew there was this thing, an interview I watched, and I saw that people were coming from Enugu to come and enjoy Solution Funds. That is how much investments. There are some investments we need to make. Like, for example, we need a wild park. In Anambra, we have lands. We can secure a particular land and use it for a wild park. Lions and everything is there. People will be going there to go and watch.
Can we maintain? One is is owned by Unizik, if I'm correct.
That one is. I'm talking about a proper park.
I'm even scared of that one there.
Yeah, I'm now telling you a proper park. We can fix it. People go to Tanzania today. How are they doing it? We can fix it and people will be coming. You see footballers come all the way from Spain just to come and experience wildlife. These are things that people come, they pay for, right? So our leaders should think outside, what do we need to do to bring people to our place? Because when you make people come to your place, you make money. Because when they come to your place, they're going to eat, they're going to lodge in a hotel, there are so many things. Even your nightlife, even your women.
You sounded like that is Ike, the incoming. All right, and that's been that on Spill It, and it's been with, I like to now add senior comrade, yes, my old senior comrade, Gozie Ofonze, a public affairs analyst. He's been diverging and dissecting the subject, political revolution, essential for healthy economy and livable society. Keep it locked with us as we keep bringing you beautiful updates and discourse. My name is Anebunam Arinze.